Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Uday Pandit and you are watching MEP Technical World. In this video, we will learn about cyclic timer. Basically, what is cyclic timer and how does it work and its wiring. So we will cover all these things. Okay? So before we start the session, I would like to request you, if you are not yet subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channel and also hit the bell icon so you will get notification regarding my upcoming videos. So let's get started. So this is the cyclic timer. Okay, here I have taken select made. Okay, this is select made cyclic timer. Okay, and if we talk about its model number, so this is the model number 800 XC. Okay, so basically cyclic timer is the combination of on delay and off delay timer. Okay, so basically when we want to operate our load like on off frequently, after some times, suppose this is the bulb. Okay, this bulb should be off up to 5 seconds and on up to 10 seconds. So this way it continuously on and off. Now if we talk about its front cover detail, front face detail, so here we have a two knob, as you can see over here. This is this one and this one. So upper one is for off time setting, okay, and lower one is for on time setting. So with the help of this knob we can set the off time. Okay, here we have a range from 0 to 10. Similarly for on time we can set from this knob. Here is also knob range 0 to 10. So with the help of this knob we can set the off time and on time as per your requirement, what actually we are going to operate on time. Okay, and there are two LED. One is for R, which is relay. If relay will get on, then this indicator, R indicator, will be glow, and if this timer will get a power, then this indicator, on indicator, will be glow. Okay, and here we have a contacts terminals, as you can see. So here is a A1 terminal and A2 terminal. So these two are for coil supply terminals, where we can supply 220 and as well as 24 volt DC. Okay, and this is DP DT type timer. DP DT means double pole double throw types. So it means it has a two common, two NO and two NC contact. So 25 number is common terminal. Okay, so this is the 25 and 15. So these two are common terminal, and 26 is NC, normally closed terminal contact with this 25 number common, and here we have a 28 number. So this is NO contact. So with this 25 number common terminal. Similarly over here 16 number is NC contact with this 15 number common terminal, and 18 number is NO contact. Okay, so 18 number is NO contact with 15 number common terminal. So these are the basically contact details. Okay, so here we have another setting knob. You can see over here, here we have a white glass. Basically this is the cover of deep switch. Actually here you can open this glass cover by sliding it this side, okay, or this side, and here you will see deep switch, white deep switch, okay, like this type, okay, a small one. So there are 8 deep switch. So with the help of this deep switch we can set the time range, multiplying factor, even mode, like we are going to operate it on first mode or off time first mode. So before start the wiring we have to look into its specification details, which is beside the cover of its timer, as you can see over here. So this is the detail of this timer. So here we have a details of this cyclic timer. Okay, so this is the model number 800XC. Okay, so as I have already told you, A1 and A2 are the coil supply terminal. Okay, so where we can connect 12 volt to 240 volt AC as well as 12 volt to 240 volt DC. Okay, and if we talk about its frequencies of 50 or 60 Hz, it depends upon the regions, and its power consumption would be 2 VA. Okay, and this is DP-DT type timer, DP-DT double pole double throw. So as I have already told you, there are two common, so 15 number and 25 number is common, and 16 number is NC contact of this 15 number common terminal. As you can see over here, it is closed, connected with this 15 number. That's why 16 number is NC contact and 18 number is NO contact, because it is open with this 15 number, and again 16 number is NC contact with this 25 number, and 28 number is NO with this 25 number. Okay, so in this way we can read the specification of this cyclic timer before I start the wiring. Okay, now let's come to its contact ampere. So this contact will resist the current up to 5 ampere, bear the current up to 5 ampere. So up to 5 ampere load we can connect on these contacts. So above it we cannot, and this is for resistive load. Okay, this is for resistive load. So up to 5 ampere resistive load we can connect on this contact. Okay, and this contact also support AC as well as DC supply. Okay, now let's come to deep switch setting. Okay, for time range setting. Okay, so here we have a deep switch setting options. Okay, so this is for time range, and this is for multiplying factor, and this is for mode, in which mode we are going to operate initially, on fast mode or off fast mode. Okay, so as I have already told you, here we have a 8 number of DP switch. Okay, so with the help of that we can set the time range, okay, of both time, off time and on timer. Okay, so off timer and on timer. So here as you can see, here we have an option to set the time range. So we can set the time range in second, in minute, in hour, as per our requirement. Okay, so here I am going to set the time range in second. Okay, so first let's look into off timer. Okay, so for off timer setting, suppose we want off time should be set in second range. So what we have to do, so here we have a 1 and 2 number deep switch, 1 and 2 number deep switch for off time range set. So what we have to do, we have to shift the deep switch towards upside. Okay, so if we shift this 1 and 2 number deep switch towards upsides, this side, it means this off timer range is set in second. Okay, similarly for on time, 6 and 8 number deep switch, if we shifted towards it upside, this side upside, then it means now on timer is set in which range? Second range. Okay, so in this way we can set the time range. Similarly for if we want to set this timer, on timer and off timer, in minute, so what we have to do, so 1 number deep switch should be shifted towards downside and 2 number towards upside. Okay, similarly for on time, shifted to downward and 7 number shifted to upside. So in this way we can set the time range like in second, minute and hour. Now come to multiplier. If we want to set multiplier 1, then for off time we can shift the number 3 deep switch towards downside. and 4 on times 8 number towards downside. If we want to set multiplying factor 10, then we have to shift the both 3 and 8 dip switch towards upside. Okay, so in this way we can set the multiplying factor of off timer and on timer. Okay, so here we have another option, mode. Okay, so with the help of 4 and 5 number dip switch we can set the mode. If we want to operate our load when we supply the signal or power supply over this timer at a time, suppose we want to our load first on, then we have to set it into on first mode. So what we have to do, we have to shift the number 4 dip switch towards upside and number 5 dip switch towards downside. Similarly, for off first mode, our dip switch 4 number should be in downside and 5 number should be upside. Okay, so in this way we can set the dip switch setting for time range setting, multiplying factor and mode setting. Okay, so in this way we can read the specification dip switch setting of this cyclic timer. Okay, so before we start the wiring and time setting, we have to look into this specification. Okay, now let's move to the wiring diagram of this cyclic timer. Basically how to wire this cyclic timer with the load. So here I have taken bulb. So this is the bulb acting as our load. Okay, so we are going to operate this load with the help of this cyclic timer. Suppose we want this bulb 5 second off and 10 second on. Okay, so in this way this bulb will operate. So off and on, off and on, off on, off on, off on, like this interval. This light will be continuously operating through this timer, cyclic timer. Okay, now let's start the wiring. Okay, so here I have taken 2-pole MCB for power supply. Okay, here we have a single phase power supply point over here. Okay, and we are going to control this timer with the help of this switch. Okay, and this is DP-DT type timer, that's why it has a 2 relay. Okay, 2 common point 25 number and 15 number, and 2 NC contact 26 and 16, and 2 NO contacts 28 and 18. Okay, so these are the contacts. So let's first start from here. So here we have a 220 volt AC supply source. So first let's connect phase or live and neutral terminal at a input terminal of this MCB, DP MCB. So here I have connected neutral terminal, neutral wire, and here phase or live wire over here. Okay, now first let's complete neutral wiring. Okay, so at A2 terminal of this cyclic timer we have to connect neutral. So from here let's take a black wire and connect it to A2 terminal. Okay, now our load, this bulb is also required neutral supply. So for that from the output terminal of this MCB, so here we have a neutral. Let's take a black wire and connect it to this bulb. Okay, now up to here we have completed a neutral wiring. Now let's move to the phase wiring. So at A1 terminal we are going to give the phase supply or live supply through this switch. Okay, because we are going to control this cyclic timer with the help of this switch. So from the output terminal of this MCB, let's take a red wire, which is live wire actually, or phase wire, and connect it to the input terminal of this switch, and from the output terminal of this switch it is connected to A1 terminal of this cyclic timer. Okay, now let's come to load wiring. Okay, so 25 number is common terminal. Okay, so we are going to give the phase supply over here. Okay, so we can loop from A1 terminal to 25 number terminal. So let's loop it from A1 terminal. So let's take a wire and give it to 25 number terminals. Now from 28 number terminal, so this is the NO terminal. So from 28 number terminal, let's take a wire and give it to this bulb. So up to here we have completed wiring. Okay, now let's move to the time setting. Okay, so let's set the time setting. Okay, so here we are going to set the time with the help of this dip switch and these two knobs. Okay, so this first one knob is for off time. Okay, off time, and this one is for on time. So for off time we are going to set 5 seconds, and for on time we are going to set 10 seconds. Okay, so first what we have to do, we have to set the time range. So we are going to use in second, that's why we have to set time range in second with the help of dip switch 1, 2 and 6 and 7 number. So 1 and 2 is for off time, and 6 and 7 number dip switch are for on time. Okay, so first let's set for off time. So what we have to do to set in second range, so number 1 and 2 dip switch should be at up position. Okay, upside. So let's shift this one number dip switch towards upside. So here we have shifted it to upside. Okay, and similarly for dip switch 2, let's shifted it towards upside. So here we have set this off time in second range with the help of this dip switch. Now for on time, what we have to do, 6 and 7 number dip switch should be at up position. So 6 and 7 is at downside, so let's shift it towards upside. So here we have shifted it to upside, both 6 and 7 number dip switch. Okay, now here we have set this time range in second. Okay, now come to multiplying factor. So here we need one multiplier factor 1, because our range is too small, like a 5 second and 10 second. Okay, that's why one multiplying factor is enough, because here we have a range 0, 5, 10. So up to 5 second we have a range, so no need to set multiplying factor 10. Okay, so let's set it to 1. So for 1, what we have to do, so 3 number for off time, 3 number dip switch should be at downside, and for on time 8 number dip switch should be downside. So let's make it down. So where is 3 number? Here we have a 3 number dip switch, so let's make it down. So here we have shifted it to downside, and for on time it is 8. Okay, so let's shift this 8 number into downside. So here we have set it to downside. Okay, now here we have set multiplying factor. Okay, now suppose let's turn this knob at, set this knob at 5, and this on time knob at 10 second, 10. Okay, now with the help of this multiplier, now we can confirm the time setting. So for off time, here we have set 5, and let's multiplying with this multiplying factor. So here we have set 1, so let's multiply with this 1, so it become 5. And for on time, this is set to 10, so 10 into 1, it becomes 10 second. Okay, so here we have set this cyclic timer for off time 5 second, and for on time 10 second. If we set it to 10, it means 5 into 10. Okay, multiplying factor, so it become 50 second. Okay, and on time, if you talk about this multiplying factor, we are assuming right now, so 10 into 10, so it become 100 seconds. So in this way we can set this multiplying factors. However, here we are set it to one multiplying factor. Okay, now let's come to mode. So why we have to change this mode? So as per our requirement, so this is our bulb. Actually this is our bulb. What we want when we switch on, or when any sensor sense, so when we switch on the power supply, it means at a time switch one, what we want, our bulb should be on at a time. So what is the time value of this on time? It should be 10 seconds, as I have already said it, 10 seconds. So it should be on up to 10 seconds. Okay, so initially it will be on, and after 10 seconds it will move to off time. Okay, so here we have said 5 seconds, so it shifted to off time, so it will remains off up to 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds again it will start to on time, so again it will on up to 10 seconds. So in this way, first it will be on and then off. So in this way it continuously glowing, so on off on off on off. Okay, if we set it to on fast mode. Okay, so for on fast mode, what we have to do, so here we have two nose deep switch for two timers. So for on fast mode, what we have to do, here we have a two number of deep switch, 4 and 5. So if we want to set this cyclic timer on fast mode, then we have to 4 number deep switch should be at upside and 5 number deep switch should be downside. Okay, so here we can set it to 4 number should be upside, so let's shift it to upside, and 5 number should be downside. So here we have set it to on fast mode. If you want to set it to off fast mode, then you can shift this 4 number switch towards downside and 5 number towards upside. Okay, so in this way we can set the time setting. So here we have actually set off time in 5 seconds, okay, and on time in 10 seconds. Okay, so in this way we can set the cyclic timer time setting. Okay, so in this video we have discussed about basically what is cyclic timer and how to read the specification of cyclic timer and how to set the time setting, like in off timer and on timer. Okay, so hope you guys understand about this cyclic timer, basics of cyclic timer. So in next video we'll discuss about basically how this cyclic timer works in on fast mode and off fast mode, and also we'll talk about its application. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and please hit the bell icon so you'll get notification regarding my upcoming videos. So thank you very much. See you again in next video.